Welcome to Automate the Boring Stuff, Chapter 5, Part A of the practice projects. There's going to be two parts, same as the last couple of videos. This will be going over the program Fantasy Game Inventory. We're going to create a program that will display a dictionary of a video game character's inventory. The key is going to be a string detailing what that item is, and then the value of that key is going to be the value or the quantity of that item. So rope is the key. The character has 1 rope in its inventory, 6 torches, 42 coins, 1 dagger, 12 arrows. So first we're going to define the function that we're going to use, and that'll be display inventory. And then it's going to be taking a parameter, so it'll be taking a specific character's inventory. So we'll type inventory as a parameter, and we want to label what it's printing, so we'll do print as a string. Let's see, print inventory is like that. And we also need at the very bottom, once we have finished going through and printing everything, we want the total number of items. So we're going to have to set item total to 0 so we can count. Then we're going to do a for loop, but this time what's different is we're going to use 2 variables instead of 1 right here. So we'll do I dash or a comma Q, and that's because since we're going to be moving through a dictionary, if you do dot items, it will return the key and the value at the same time. So we'll do for IQ in inventory dot items. So I will be the key, Q will be the value. So we'll take item total plus equals Q. So every time it iterates through this, it will add each. So it'll go 12, it'll add to item total. Then it moves through the next dictionary, 42 gold, it'll add 42 to item total, and so on and so forth. And then we're going to want to print both of those values every time to display what the character has and not just a total. So we'll do print Q, print I, because we want to show the number first and then the item. Then we will do print total items, number of carried items plus, and then we're going to want to change this type to a string so we can concatenate it. Not equal, we'll do plus string value item total. There we go. And that is the display inventory program. So when we call it, we can do, we'll take this dictionary of inventory, and then we will print, we'll do display inventory, and hit F5. Oh, I have to save it. Do inventory video copy. And now that shows all of my players' inventory plus the total number of items I have on my character. Now on to practice project part B. We're going to be taking a list and adding that list to the dictionary of inventory. So say this character slays a dragon. The dragon will drop loot. And what we want to do is count up any repeated items and set them to a dictionary, and then update each dictionary with the new value of items plus the old value to create a new total. So we'll call this, we'll do add to inventory function. We'll define it, go define add to inventory, and it will take two parameters because you need the inventory you're adding to and the loot and added items. Perfect. So we need to create a new loot dictionary. So we'll do loot equals a blank dictionary, and then new inventory equals items, because we have to create a new inventory. Since dictionaries are not mutable, we need to just create a new one. I was watching videos, and anytime you're working with immutable objects like this, like strings or dictionaries, the best thing to do is just create a new list. That way you don't have any problems. Perfect, just like that. So this will take this inventory and add it to a new variable that's local. So then we'll do, again, just like up here, we're gonna take a for loop of a dictionary, which has two. If we use items, if we use dot keys, it'll have one. If we use dot values, it'll only take the values, but we need both. So we'll do for I and C. And what we're gonna want to use right here to count, so right here it shows that there are 16 gold coins. But in this dragon loot, since it's a list, it doesn't hold values. So what they did was they just multiplied the amount of gold coins in the list, since they can't set it to a value. So we want to run through all of the items and count up how much they are. So we're going to import from from collections, import counter. And then we'll use it. So we'll go counter added items. So that will be the loot list that I'll put right here. Will be counted through. And then we'll set it to dot items. And we'll do loot dictionary dot set default IC. So what counter does is it basically takes a list and iterates through it, setting each string to its own key and counting any repeated strings and setting the value to that key. So it basically takes a list and turns it into a dictionary with the counted repeated strings. So setting default, so if we go from drag and loop, it will iterate I, which is gold coin, and C, which is the value, so it'll be 1, and it will set default to loot dictionary. And it will just iterate through it and repeat the process. So now what we're going to want to do is do a for I v in loot dictionary items, because we want all the items in there, not just the keys or not just the values. We'll do s equals inventory dot get I, and then we'll set it to false. And what this does is it will search in the original inventory right here, and it'll search to see if there was already a value in here. Because what we don't want to do is just count up what the new loot is and then just replace that value. Because then he's going to lose coins instead of gaining 3. Because we need to find out how much he had in the first place. Now, if there isn't an item in there, then we need to add a new value to new inventory. So if it's not there, it will return the false. It'll return false. So then we need to do an if statement inside the for loop. If s is equivalent to false, then new inventory dot set default I comma v. So that will, if there isn't a value already, it will set a new value to new inventory. Now, if it returns anything else, because it will return I. I is the value inside inventory already. So else, we'll set t to equal s plus v. And the reason I'm setting a new value is so that this is the total value of the loot and of what you already had. And I don't want to change any of those values, so I'm creating a new variable just so I don't mess with any. And then we'll do new inventory index I will equal t. Then we want to go back and return the new inventory. Just like that. So now we'll take the dragon loop, we'll pull it up, we'll put it in here. And let's do print original loop. We want a new line. Because I want an extra space. And we'll display the original inventory. Then we will do inventory equals add to inventory and dragon loop. So the way we set this is because it's returning a specific value. So it's returning a dictionary. We want to set that to the new inventory since all of it is updated. So we're taking the original inventory and the loot and creating and updating the inventory diction. And then we want to display it again to see the difference. Perfect. So we'll run that. Forgot to add the in part right there. So we'll run that. So the original loot right here. And here, let's make this a little easier to read. So we'll do we'll display equals. So we'll do print new line after dragon and we'll do a new line after that as well, so it looks nice and pretty. Rerun. Shit. Rerun that. So the original loot, you have 16 gold coins, 2 ropes, 1 mirror, 1 rapier, 46 mystics, 1 wand, total for 67 items. Then after, we're adding 3 gold coins, no mirror, no rope, so those stay the same. And then we'll do, we're adding a dagger, a ruby, a dragon plate body, and some scale, 1 scale, for a total number of 74 items. And the cool thing about these programs is that it's very versatile. So you can have, say you're running a 5-person D&D game or whatever. Each of those characters can have a inventory in this Python script. So you could do inventory character 1, inventory character 2, blah, blah, blah. And then have a bunch of loot tables for certain enemies that they're going to encounter that session or whatever. And anytime somebody gets a kill or you guys rob somebody or whatever, then you can just do inventory character 3, add to inventory, inventory dragon loot or goblin loot or bugbear loot or any different type of character that you killed. And then they can display inventory again. And this will work for any dictionary given any type of list. Perfect. I will see you guys in chapter 6.